Pakistan has child criminals that they're going to put to death, apparently, because this is a civilized country that we are allies with for God knows what reason. Here's the story. 8-year-old becomes the youngest person charged with blasphemy in Pakistan. 8-year-old.
I hate the way that Pakistan is governed.
Just everything about the way it's governed.
It's an Islamist country.
Yeah.
As it's a deeply Islamic country, and this is the kind of thing you get out of it. Because remember, in Islam, blasphemy is punishable by death.
Which is the punishment prescribed.
Just like leaving the religion is punishable by death, and probably a bunch of other things punishable by death.
Being gay, punishable by death. Anyway, moving on. So, a Hindu boy faces possible death penalty after being accused of intentionally urinating in a madrasa library.
No, this is a Hindu, not a Muslim boy.
But also accused of intentionally urinating. I think the 8-year-old might just peed himself.
God.
I mean, it's an 8-year-old.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But hang on, before we even go any further, surely there is a social justice concern here, because Hindus being a minority in Pakistan, and this being a Hindu boy, do you think they're getting fair and equal justice? Do you think they're being treated like the rest of the Muslim population of Pakistan? Probably not. Just saying. If there was a left winger, they might want to I don't know, consider the power dynamics of the groups involved here. But sorry, Karen.
Well, I already know the immediate response will be whataboutism, which is what about Muslims in India who are being mistreated? And it's like, okay, sure, but what's that got to do with the Islamic State?
Yeah.
Because the Islamic State to the north there explicitly engages in this stuff. India's ideal was not to do that.
Yes.
And the reason they've become more Hindu nationalist is because, well, you look at Pakistan, just Islo nationalist.
Yeah.
Such a thing can exist. Therefore, screw it then. The idea of a united India with no religious discrimination seems to have just sort of died. But whatever, I'm not an expert on Indian politics or anything. It's just looking on the outside as a foreigner. So an 8-year-old Hindu boy is being held in protective police custody in East Pakistan after becoming the youngest person ever to be charged with blasphemy in the country. The boy's family are in hiding, and many of the Hindu community in the conservative district of Rahim Yar Khan in Punjab have fled their homes after a Muslim crowd attacked a Hindu temple after the boy's release on bail last week.
God, I hate this country.
It's just what a mess.
I just can't stand it.
Everyone's like, yeah, we got to flee the homes. Why? A bunch of Muslims turned up and destroyed a Hindu temple.
Kid
Why?
accidentally peed on a carpet, probably.
Yeah. Troops were deployed to the area to quell any further unrest.
God damn it.
Send in the army.
God damn it.
Barbarians,
Okay.
man. On Saturday, 20 people were arrested in connection with the temple attacks, so good.
Good, yeah.
At least arresting the rioters. Speaking from an undisclosed location, a member of the boy's family told The Guardian, he, the boy, is not even aware of such blasphemy issues, and he has been falsely indulged in these matters. He still doesn't understand what his crime was and why he was kept in jail for a week.
They kept an 8-year-old in jail for a week.
For peeing himself.
Oh my God. It's a good thing the Empire doesn't exist, because I'd be demanding we do something about this otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, we did in the past. I mean,
Yeah.
the men who used to burn their wives alive
Yeah.
with them when
Yeah.
they died. Yeah, we hung the people who did that,
Good.
and I would presume if the Empire was back, we'd hang these people too for being barbarians.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have left our shops and work. The entire community is scared and we fear backlash. We don't want to return to this area.
Any leftists who want to speak up about the institutional and social oppression of the Hindu minority in Pakistan by the Muslim majority? Is there a single one of you that wishes to raise your voice in protest to what is happening here?
Oh, you never know. It could be that $10 million they sent to Pakistan for gender studies programs.
Maybe.
Sure,
Minority
that's
community persecuted have gone into hiding because a child had an accident.
We don't see any concrete and meaningful action that will be taken against the culprits to safeguard the minorities living here. That's a statement from a member of the family. There is one ray of sunshine in this, which is the Prime Minister has to give a civilized
We're
statement.
not going to describe Imran Khan as a ray of sunshine.
No,
he is an Islamist as well.
His specific statement in which
Okay.
he's just like, yeah, maybe don't kill people for peeing themselves. That's it. That's the only good thing that we've got here. Not describing the man himself as ray of sunshine, as you say.
Yeah.
Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan condemned the mob attack on Twitter and said that he has ordered the provincial police chief to take action against anyone involved, including negligent police officers. He promised the government would restore the temple.
Well, okay, that's good.
I will probably take his word on restoring the temple, doing anything against the people involved.
Yes, I'm sure that justice is swift to follow.
According to a report by the US Commission on International Religious Freedoms published last year, Pakistan reported the highest number of incidents of mob activity, mob violence, and/or threats of mob violence as a result of alleged blasphemous acts.
There are loads of examples of this as well. Like whenever there's a community problem, there's a Christian girl who was accused of burning a Quran a few years back. She had to go into hiding. I think she
In
had to flee
Pakistan?
the country. Yeah, in Pakistan. Yeah, she had to flee the country. I'm thinking, yeah, right. Just sure.
What was not Ashley Babbitt, that's in the capital. Was it Asia Bibi? Asia Bibi?
I think that might have been her.
That might have been her.
Yeah.
I think she was also accused of like drinking from a cup that a Muslim had used or something.
Oh yeah. There's Christian-Muslim segregation in Pakistan as well, because obviously Christians, being a minority, are treated like second-class citizens, and I'm sure that Hindus are as well.
What a civilized country. Anyway, 4 countries account for nearly 80% of all worldwide reported incidents of mob activity, mob violence, and/or threats of mob violence as a result of blasphemous acts, and countries between 2014 and 2018. There's 4 countries. They don't mention in the BBC article. If I clicked on the report and went there, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, and Egypt. What do all these countries have in common? Who knows? Pakistan made up 50% of all global mob violence in response to blasphemy.
Despite being 13% of the Islamic world.
It makes up 50% of the mob violence in relation to blasphemy. Anyway, this isn't the end of the story, though. Thankfully, there is a somewhat silver lining, which is reported on lotus.com by Rory. Police in Pakistan drop blasphemy charges against 8-year-old boy who allegedly urinated in library.
Oh, how progressive. How progressive. How forward-thinking.
Maybe we shouldn't kill an 8-year-old for peeing himself.
It'll look better on the international stage, I suppose.
Yeah. Police in Pakistan have dropped all charges against the 8-year-old Hindu boy, announcing the boy's release. Tahir Mahmood Ashrafi, the Prime Minister's special representative on religious harmony. I haven't even got to his statement. It's just the name of his position.
Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi special envoy on Jewish relations, said, what?
You know what's really embarrassing is we're going to end up with one of them as well.
Oh, probably.
Because the UK is
religious. Okay, sorry, go on.
Importing said problems. So this guy, he said that the charges against the child were baseless.
Okay, yeah, I believe it.
I don't.
What, the charges weren't baseless?
No, because under Islamic law, that's the thing. Like,
oh, well, yeah.
If you were actually going to implement the law on blasphemy here, if the boy had peed himself accidentally, well, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, under Islamic law, then Hindus themselves are a problem because they're idolaters.
Yeah, they're pagans,
Yeah.
not people of the book.
No.
Therefore, they want to be killed, according to the Quran, not me.
Yeah. And if you want to look at the Islamic invasions of India, you can see that process in action.
Yep. So we'll finish off with his statement. Minorities are equal citizens, and these are illiterate people attacking worship places. The translation there. Islam.
Wow, that's interesting.
He also said, our Islam does not allow attacking of any other religion's place of worship. I guess your Islam doesn't follow the Quran then. I don't know what else to say there.
The illiterate people seem to actually be following the Quran.
Because the Quran's pretty clear about this sort of stuff, and it's not liberal.
Not very tolerant. John Locke is in opposition to the Quran on the concept of religious tolerance.
So that's the situation in Pakistan. This is just another latest example of the fact that our country is a uncivilized hellhole because it is an Islamic state and follows Islamism. So I thought we'd just talk about why did we import this? That's the question no one wants to answer. So let's go on to this, which is just the Wikipedia page of British Pakistanis, and you can see the total number there for 2011: 1.1 million British Pakistanis throughout England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And if you go down to the numbers, I don't know if you can find it on here, but it's the numbers per decade they put in, because we do the census every decade. God knows what it is at this point, but the numbers started doubling in 1970 and then exploded under the Tony Blair era, because of course it did. What else were we expecting?
Tony.
Yeah. They also list some of the great things that the Pakistani community do bring to Britain, and yeah, you can say that you can have highly educated Pakistani people who can work as doctors or dentists and so on and so forth. That's totally true. It's also more kinds of curry they list. So
I do like curry too.
Yeah, that's true. But it also comes with the drawbacks, because if you import the world, you import the world's problems. And let's go through some of the problems in a minute. So I also wanted to mention the 1.1 million British Pakistanis. That's probably, I don't know, 2 million if the trend continued at this point.
Yep.
You also have the Migration Watch. So if we go to Migration Watch's link, they also list there is about 170,000 to 200,000 illegal Pakistanis. This is based on remittances to Pakistan that can't be accounted for.
Right.
So something to keep in mind.
Yep.
So what's some of the downsides of Pakistani immigration? Well, things that look like Pakistan. Let's be frank, because you look at that country and that's not good. And then, well, what are the things that are not good when they get on the plane? They just disappear? No, they land in the UK and stay with us. So the first thing being ethnic colonies. So this is Pakistani Independence Day, and it's in Manchester.
Why was Pakistan Independence Day being celebrated in Manchester?
In
Why
no
did the police have to retreat from a hostile crowd?
In no small section either. Like, I saw the other footage of this. It was a huge celebration in which there are loads and loads of Pakistani flags and people chanting and singing and blowing their car horns and whatnot. And, led to confrontations with the police.
Remember, that's Pakistan's independence from Britain that is being celebrated in Manchester.
It's also the lovely other stuff we get. So, Pakistani grooming gangs. Not going to dwell on this one too much. We can go to the next link. You can just see this is Oxford, majority Pakistani. This is just Oxford.
Yep.
Talking about all the other places in the UK, but that. There's also, we have now NHS guidance on female genital mutilation.
The traditional British practice. Nothing more English than female genital mutilation, Callum.
It's nice and new. Love that. Now we've got the recommendation there. NHS didn't have to do that before. We also have honour killings in the West surrounding this. There are some extreme examples in Germany and whatnot, but this is the closest example to Britain here. Pakistan's former ambassador to Ireland speaks following daughter's murder in honour killing. Yeah, this is a very
So
British...
she was kidnapped and murdered by Zahir Jaffer, the son of a wealthy business tycoon. So you can't be like, oh, it's because they're poor, it's because they're ignorant. Well, that guy wasn't.
No.
No, it's because they have a belief system that believes that if women violate the code of honour, then they should be killed.
This has happened throughout the UK as well. So, a very British problem, I am sure. There's also Deobandi mosques that have been set up all around the country. If we go to the next one. So, this is the Spectator talking about who runs our mosques. And in here, they list the largest single group, the one which arguably gives Islam in Britain much of its character. Very polite way of putting it, is the Deobandi. It controls about 45% of British mosques and nearly all UK-based training of Islamic scholars. What most Deobandi scholars have in common is conservative interpretations of Islamic law. Television and music, for the purposes of entertainment, for example, are frowned upon, if not banned. Women are advised not to emerge from their homes any more than necessary. So liberal. I can feel the liberalism from here. God. So, I mean, not only we got the problem...
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, you can just go look on Wikipedia and find this out for yourselves. But there's a town in northern India called Deoband, and that's where the Deobandi School of Islam comes from. It was founded in the 19th century, I think it was, as a way to resist British imperialism, the British Empire, and liberalism.
It's also, as they list, the ideology which the Taliban movement grew out of.
It is indeed the ideology of the Taliban, and that's half of our mosques
So not only
in Britain.
So
An anti-British School of Islam.
we have this conversation in the West a lot about the export of extremist Islam from Iran and Saudi Arabia because of petrodollars. You don't even need that. You could just import over 1 million Pakistanis and therefore import the ideology of Pakistani Islam.
Yep. And just to be clear, right, there are loads of like countries that are Islamic that are full of Muslims that don't have an explicitly anti-British worldview. There are loads of them. You know, North Africa, the Middle East, they're not explicitly anti-British, but in the subcontinent they are because there was the empire. And therefore we've decided that that's an acceptable thing.
Not all immigration is the same.
Not all Muslims are the same. Don't know why I have to say that.
Yeah, so if we go to the next one here, remember these losers? You remember this?
Yep.
Behead those who insult Islam, massacre those who insult Islam. BBC equals British blasphemic Rushdias.
Blasphemic.
No,
they're saying crusaders. Blasphemic crusaders.
Oh, sorry. I thought they were talking to Salman Rushdie.
God, I imagine the BBC, British Blasphemic Crusaders. Oh, God, I wish. Not in this world.
Yeah, but this, if this doesn't make sense now, I don't know what to say. This is the reason that we have such problems with Islamism in England, specifically with the British Pakistanis, because not to mention all the terrorists who turn out to be British Pakistani-based or have links to Pakistan. Big shock. I mean, Four Lions being the joke film about all of this. There's a reason they go to Pakistan to train. It's because it's realistic. Let's
Yeah.
be frank. Anyway, so what have we sent back in return? Well, there's not a mass movement of English people going to Pakistan, but there is a mass movement of English culture,
Oh,
which is really funny. I thought I'd just end on this.
Based.
So, how the city of Mirpur became Little England. And you can see there some mansion that's been built.
Yeah.
And so they say in here, it's a home away from home for UK Pakistanis, he says, proudly showing me his little semi-detached houses and their neat gardens that he hopes will be able to sell on. That's just what they've built. They've built a Little England. He then boasts they'll even have British-style rubbish collections.
So what kind of rubbish collection do they have in Pakistan?
I presume none. I presume the kind of third world thing you'd expect. And then they're like, yeah, what if we just had people who pick up the trash and take it to the dump?
Yeah, they could even get paid, maybe.
Oof, what an innovation. I mean, again, it's the kind of reflection where you're listening to it and be like, what?
Yeah, you forget that the world is a very different place.
Yeah. We can go to the next link here. This was part of the video. I wonder if we can play this without the sound just to show people, because this is the little...
I mean, that looks like a
house.
lovely house.
Yeah, but then he starts boasting about, look at this, the Western-style roads.
Ooh, that's nice. Clean streets.
Yeah, and then he
is
pants
nice.
to a bin
Yeah.
to show off the bin.
No. I completely endorse this. Right, this is how the world should be organised. The roads should be neat and clean. The houses should be well maintained. There
Shop
should be bins.
stored with cornflakes.
Yeah, there should be cornflakes in every shop.
Being sold in pounds.
Yeah,
You can pay with pounds in that store, he says as well.
really.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's that integrated into England at this point.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean-
this lady does a radio station in English called Pakistani British Radio. She transmits that.
That's
in the
good.
city.
Okay, that's the kind of colonisation I'm for.
But
Not the reverse kind.
But there's the thing. It's like, well,
But this isn't even colonisation. That's the thing. This is them saying we liked the culture of England.
yeah,
and we
it's
would
not
like
the
to
mass
spread
movement
it.
of British people to Mirpur. It's actually Pakistanis who came here and then are going back periodically. So 200,000 people a year, he says, go back to the city, back and forth from Britain. And it's them realising, hey, yeah, England has this better. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Than the surrounding area.
Or we could become Islamic mob hellholes that put children on trial and give them death penalties.
So I thought I'd just demonstrate the difference, demonstrate the good in the world we're doing rather than doing anything. But at the same time, the damage we are doing to ourselves and the fact that we accept this. And I thought I'd just end this sermon with, and furthermore, I believe that Pakistan must be destroyed.
Thanks, Cato.